Hey guys, we are the Life Developers. I'm Eric Fan. My group mates are Quentin Nguyen, Josh Creon, and Aram and Tanya. And our tool is Github, and our SDLC is called Sashimi. So just to explain what Sashimi is, it is best for middle-sized projects, so not too small, not too big. And it's similar to the pure waterfall model, except for that the Sashimi model allows for more overlap between phases and allows teams to work on multiple phases of a project simultaneously. For example, before you finish working on the software concept, let's say, you can have already started on the requirements analysis. Also, it requires less documentation than is needed compared to the pure waterfall model because this allows for more continuity between each step as teams are aware of the progress being made as it occurs. This allows for more feedback and edits when working on the project itself. However, because there is overlap in the phases, this can cause problems in communication as it can be hard to track progress and determine when a phase is officially completed. And just want to touch upon what GitHub is. GitHub is a development platform that allows for version control and collaboration on various software projects. It is a place to store your projects and code and offers a host site for software development as well. It also allows developers a place to plan and collaborate on a project by providing various features such as version history, the ability to fork, pull requests, and merge a repository, as well as containing project planning boards. So the first feature of GitHub that I want to talk about is version history. So version history is a complete version history that allows developers to see and go back on different versions of the code. This is somewhat inconsistent with the Sashimi model because that model itself does allow for some regression given that two teams can work on two separate phases at the same time. However, having access to a complete version history allows for too much regression into the previous phase than the Sashimi model would normally allow. For example, if two teams are currently working on the architectural and detailed design phase, but an edit must be made to the requirements analysis phase, then using the version history may prove very useful. However, this much regression into a previous phase is usually a lot more difficult with the Sashimi model, which is why this feature is inconsistent with it. Our second feature that we want to discuss of GitHub is the fork, pull request, and merge. It is consistent with Sashimi. It basically allows other users to copy another user's repository, also called a fork, which allows for modifications without affecting the original. After that, user makes their own edits. They can share the modifications to the original developer, called a pull request. And if the original developer likes the modifications, they can then merge the new modifications into their own repository. And this is consistent with the Sashimi model because it allows for developers and different teams to work on different phases of the project simultaneously. For example, one team could be working on the detailed design phase while another team could copy/fork the current repository and start simultaneously working on the coding and debugging phase. And for our third feature of GitHub that goes with Sashimi, it contains project planning boards, which allows developers to plan and organize their work. You can create notes and track tasks with various columns such as to do, in progress, and done. This is consistent with the Sashimi model because it allows for multiple tasks to be in the same column simultaneously, and project boards make it possible to have multiple tasks in the in progress column and allows teams to work on multiple phases at the same time. So moving on, just briefly want to discuss Dungeons and Dragons is a fantasy tabletop RPG, and it's basically a game that's very popular over the past couple decades. And we actually took a Discord bot called Avray, which is one of the more advanced dice rollers on Discord, capable of supporting pretty much every type of role needed to play Dungeons and Dragons. On the screen, you can see the repository of this project consisting of folders with codes, scripts, tests, skin of tokens, etc. The Sashimi model requires more changes than other models, and GitHub tools can provide features for this. For example, if you forked a repository, you can commit any changes and describe why you did them, which is very useful and convenient for this SDLC model called Sashimi. Also, you can compare two releases and all changes which were made there and why. Sashimi models require constant analyzing and improvement because processes overlap each other, and sometimes developers need to work again on some codes, which is why they need to compare different releases and changes, etc., etc. And one of the biggest advantages of having the Sashimi model is that people with different skills can show work without waiting and can do work very early before other people can, which is sometimes a good thing. That's why leads and managers are very important to keep track of the results and understand who is really making a lot of effort for their project and work process, because a lot of these things can be done independently or in small teams. All in all, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can see the connections between GitHub and the Sashimi SDLC models and the consistencies and inconsistencies between the two, and I hope you learn something new. All right, thanks, guys. That is all.